Hi there, I'm Lydia Sear and I'm a marketing executive for Harrington Starr. We are a global fintech recruitment firm, and my overall day-to-day job includes a lot of digital content creation, pitch decks, all things creative, visual identity. That's my thing. I love graphic design and video. It's been native to me since I got my hands on a computer as a child. I also do a lot of, email marketing, website upkeep, overall presence online, and we also do events, organisations, and kind of all the small details that go into that. I also love to use my personal profile on LinkedIn to raise awareness of people with ADHD, with autism, and all neurodivergent conditions, and just basically helping show others how they can create cultures within their business that allows for cognitive diversity to thrive and just allows for everyone to be themselves and not burn out because they're masking. Yeah. So I got into the recruitment industry basically by chance. I dropped out of a graphic design degree. It wasn't for me, it was a waste of money and time, and ultimately it wasn't working with the way that I work. So I ended up applying for an apprenticeship in digital marketing because I wanted to prove that I could still, get a qualification, but I wanted to go and work somewhere and get hands-on, what's it called? I also wanted to just start getting hands-on experience and just get stuck into an industry. Obviously that was recruitment, because essentially I had an interview with a recruitment firm. It was the only interview I could get before lockdown 1. Luckily they gave me an offer and I got started, and yeah, I loved it. My boss actually ended up leaving, so I had to step up, take responsibility, but I feel like that was kind of fate because I got to have a lot more responsibility and have a big girl job, and I was qualified anyway as a graphic designer, and yeah, I was ready to go, so I loved it. And obviously there is a certain reputation around the recruitment industry as being quite boisterous, and as a young woman anyway, I was so anxious about joining a corporate environment that might be very laddish and kind of intimidating for a young woman like me. Obviously that it wasn't the case, but that was one of the things that I was anxious about. Another thing is just in general, being someone who is neurodivergent and who thinks differently, it's been a struggle, in school. It's been a struggle in things like school, university, obviously, and in terms of things like organisation, social interactions. So of course, joining the recruitment industry, which relies a lot on talking to people, it was really, really nerve-wracking, and especially the idea of having to run loads of campaigns, keep clients and candidates happy. I was anxious about that, So I advocate for a lot of neurodivergent people, and that includes autism, and social anxiety is something that I struggle with and have always been apprehensive about. And of course, coming into an industry where, again, there's a reputation of constantly going out and being social, that was something I was afraid of. But you can do what you like. If you want to live that life, go ahead and do it. But I have found that people don't judge you. As long as you're yourself, what can people say? A huge lesson I've learned is that these mindsets around the recruitment industry are outdated and unfair. Yes, you can have this fun lifestyle, but people have changed, people are different, and I think what makes someone a good recruitment consultant is positivity, and that they're changing someone's career for the better, and surely people like that are good people. So as long as you come into the right firm, you work for the right people, just being yourself is so much easier than you thought. Personally, I work in a really safe space. I feel comfortable to be myself. We're surrounded by all sorts of people of all walks of life, and I feel in the recruitment industry that is the case. It's quite a diverse industry in general, and having someone like our Chief Customer Officer, Nadia, who always advocates for diversity, especially in her podcasts, the DEI discussions, it's so eye-opening to see that being a topic that people want to actively change. So at the moment, just working in the recruitment industry in general, it's completely changed my perception of it. And yeah, I feel completely safe to be myself. In general, giving advice to someone who is neurodivergent and looking to come into the recruitment industry, I would just say, find the right people, find the right managers, and from day one, tell them about who you are, what makes you different, and what makes you special, and what's your superpowers, what are your needs. Personally, I Personally, I thrive being a creative. I have an eye for graphic design and I can edit things super quick. And I know that my managers know that and they let me thrive in those areas. Also, in general, just being verbal about how your condition and what your needs might be, people will take it a lot easier than you think. I was anxious to mention it before because I just thought people would think she's a weirdo or not have any faith in me. But if you just come in there with confidence and knowing that you are special, you do have your superpowers, and to me, I would just say, remember that neurodivergent people are super people. They are brilliant. And it's about finding the right companies that acknowledge that and that let you thrive in those areas you want to thrive in. As long as you're open from the get-go, 1 in 7 people in the UK have a neurodivergent condition. That's 15%. So the likelihood that you're going to go and work with someone who is neurodivergent is higher than you might think. So go in there with confidence, understand your strengths, and just always talk about it. I remember in an interview I had with my CEO, one of the first things I said was about having ADHD and how I think it is a superpower. I'm very emotional, which makes me empathetic towards our candidates and clients. And also I just have a natural talent for graphic design and video, visual, anything visual is my thing. In terms of specifically recruitment, I would say outline your boundaries, how you work best and how you like to interact with people. Hopefully your firm will allow for flexible working. That's one of the key things for me, is being able to work from home and work flexible hours to fit my needs, because sometimes I find constantly working doesn't work for me. I have to have a break. I have to be in an understimulating environment, because recruitment can be very loud. Obviously, if your company's doing well, a lot of people are going to be on the phone, and at Harrington Star, everyone's on the phone all the time. For whatever reason, personal or not, if you can't work from home, it's always good to encourage safe spaces for people who are neurodivergent, or just anyone who needs a break, to go and sit in a less stimulating environment. I always use our marketing suite. I sit there, and if I need to focus on a podcast, noise cancellation headphones on and just get going. It's all about just embracing your boundaries and being honest with people about it. I would just say recruitment consultants are people who thrive off of transforming people's lives, their careers, and giving them what they want in their career journey. And to me, that's someone who's a good person, and it's incredibly fulfilling to be part of that and to hear people on the phone, how they interact with their candidates and their clients, just knowing that we're doing something good. So seriously, if you are considering recruitment, it's all about being open with who you are and just embracing that you're different, and encouraging also firms to learn. If your firm is mostly neurotypical people, they're not going to be considering how someone like you or me needs to work and how we thrive. So good managers will appreciate you equipping them with that knowledge and telling them what you need, what people like you need, and giving suggestions in an open environment where they know that you're doing this to help everyone. Because if everyone is comfortable in their job, then everyone's going to thrive. No one's going to be burnt out because we're being completely clear with each other. So 100% I would recommend recruitment. Otherwise I would have gone by now. But yeah, it's a brilliant industry, and it's brilliant to see the change that recruitment consultants can make, and recruitment firms in general.